For me at the moment, I feel like this is the ultimate test. It's me against the clock and time waits for no man. The last time I tried to do a sub 9 hour Ironman, ultimately I came up a little bit short. This time I'm taking everything I learned from my first attempt. I've picked a course that I think gives me the best chance of doing it. I've bought equipment I didn't really want to buy. And I'm going to try and put right every mistake that I feel like I made last time. You little gay.
Your normal procrastination.
Yeah, as always. Week 4. So far we've been locked indoors because the weather so far this week has been absolutely horrendous. Did manage to get in a couple of good bike sessions, including like a pretty decent long one yesterday. So I'm pretty happy with how that's going. But today we've got a little bit of a gap in the weather. It's at least stopped raining. It is very windy out there, but it has stopped raining. So we're going to try and get out for our long run now. Plan is to do that as a little bit of a build run for me, so I'm going to run the first hour and a half with Ellie, get her long run in the bank as well, and then I'm going to try and run for about an hour on my own afterwards. And you are thinking you might come out and support me on the bike?
Maybe. If it starts raining, I'll support you from... I'll be moral support from the couch.
Yeah, so that's the plan. Let's get out and do it before it starts raining again, because I don't think I can handle that at the moment.
How do you feel, Tommy?
Not too bad. Got just about 20 minutes to go, so I think I'm about to hit the bit where it starts to get really difficult, but that's what we do for the long runs for. And I always like to think that's about how you know you've done it right. So, just trying to keep the heart rate nice and controlled. Got a bit of a hill to do, so that'll be a challenge now.
ISO. How do the legs feel?
Pretty smashed now. 10 minutes to go. This is what counts, apparently. That's what I keep telling myself anyway. That's what I always tell you when you're in the last 20 minutes of a long run.
Finally, the tables are turned and you have to tell yourself.
Yeah. It's all good fun though.
Swim done?
Yeah.
I'm very jealous of how quick your hair dries because mine is soaking wet.
To be fair, I could actually do with a bit of a trim. So, yeah, swim done, went well. I think I managed to hold. I was holding about 115 per 100 for the reps. So I think just about quick enough to class it as VO2. So I'm happy with that.
Only one cramp.
Only one cramp.
Which meant I got to overtake you for the first time ever.
Right at the very end. But I got it sorted out and we managed to finish the set. So it didn't disrupt anything too much. I'm trying to really focus on the running and the cycling. Like for me, I really need to work on the running to make sure that I can do that well. I think that's where I'm going to make most of the time. And then I'm trying to make sure that I've got that I'm strong enough on the bike at the moment to be able to actually run well off the bike. So the swims have kind of taken a little bit of a backseat, which is why we've not featured them so much so far on the thing. But what we're basically doing fundamentally is training really well for like a half distance one, with the thinking behind that being it's a downriver swim, so I shouldn't be in the water as long as I would normally be in an Ironman. And basically that's structured around, we're doing 2 really good interval sessions a week, we're doing 1 recovery swim every week, and we're doing 1 longer aerobic swim where I'm focusing more on strength endurance, like using a lot of paddles and stuff to strengthen my shoulders so that I should be able to sort of swim well in the wetsuit. So that's kind of what we're doing around swimming at the moment. Obviously today was one of the more intense interval sessions. So yeah, that's kind of the thinking.
So it's still like 4 sessions a week, and how many K a week?
Yeah, so it's 4 sessions a week. majority of the sessions are about 3k, so like the recovery swims and the interval swims are around about 3k, some a little bit over, some a little bit under, and then that longer sort of like more aerobic strength endurance swim is more around 4k, so sometimes a little bit over, sometimes a little bit under, but around 4k. So I would say on average a week at the moment I think we're probably swimming, what's that, like 14ish k a week, somewhere around there.
Right, run time.
Yeah, we're having a bit of a mixed morning this morning, aren't we? I had a really good bike ride yesterday. 4 hours on the turbo with some like intervals in it that was really hard. So it was like 2 blocks of 4 times 15 minutes. It was a really good ride. Like, I'm really happy with how it went, but I'm really tired today. So I tried to get an extra hour of sleep this morning, and then there's like a kid's inflatable thing in the pool, so we ended up having to cut our swim short this morning, which was not ideal. I was swimming very well while I was swimming though, so I'm hoping that this run will go well and we can just bounce straight back into training. Legs are tired because that bike was really quite hard yesterday. It was, in terms of like individual sessions, it was like the biggest individual session I've done in terms of training load according to my watch, so it'll be interesting to see how the legs bounce back today. Like I said, I felt pretty good in the pool, surprisingly good to be honest with you. So I'm hopeful this will go quite well. Plan for the run is to do 1 times 1.6k, 2 times 1.2k, 3 times 800 meters and 4 times 400 meters. Today we're trying to go slightly above the aerobic threshold, so those 15-minute intervals yesterday were all like slightly below my aerobic threshold, like really dialing in like that Ironman pace. Today we're going to go and try and go slightly over it, so really work the strength in the legs and the technique under fatigue, while I've basically got really smashed up tired legs. So that's the plan for today. Hopefully it goes well. If not, it's the last session of the week, so it'll be a good way to end it anyway, and I haven't got much more left to do after this is done, so yeah, let's get stuck in.
How was that?
Hard work, but I'm glad I got it done. Just bounced straight back and got that one in after the swim this morning. So that was good. Yeah, managed to get the heart rate up to the right place. So yeah, physiologically did everything I wanted to do. Managed to get them all above the aerobic threshold on everything. So it's really good. I have no idea what I was doing pace-wise. I have to check the laps because I had it on workout mode and it doesn't show you the pace. I didn't realise that. It just shows you the heart rate if you set it to heart rate.
I have the same.
Okay, I did the mile at 341s per kilometre, the 2 1200s at 334 and 337, the 3 800s at 342, 342, 335, and the 4 400s at 323, 332, 338 and 331. That's a good pace. I'm happy with that, especially running just training shoes on the trail. I think that's really good. So yeah, happy with that. I think it being a bit up and down it's a big headwind on the big straight coming back, so it felt like much harder work into that. So I'm assuming that the slower ones are the ones where I was working the headwind and the slightly quicker ones are the ones where
I had the same on my
having
run.
a tailwind. So, but I think that's really good pace on actual sort of road, and my legs are very tired from that bike yesterday. So really good for building the leg strength, I think. So it's good session. I think we'll go get some lunch now and then I'm not 100% sure how I'll finish off the week. I'd like to get something else in, especially I had a double run day planned, but depending on, I've got quite a lot of work to do this afternoon as well, so depending on how much light I've got left probably at the end of the day, that might be I might go indoors on the turbo instead, but I'd like to get something else done to just round out the week. But overall it's been another really good week of training, and yeah, I think all the hard work is done now with that one, so that's really good.
Looks like summer returned for your evening run.
Yeah, today has literally been the only good day of weather, hasn't it? So I've tried to make the most of it and make sure that I get outside again. Just going to try and do an hour, super easy, and that should round out a really nice week of training. I'm going to be confident to say I'll definitely do a full hour, which will mean that I should have done about 19 hours and 15 minutes of training this week. 2 hours 20 in the pool, 10.5 hours on the bike, and 5 hours 20 minutes of running. So a little bit more running this week, a little bit less biking. Because obviously last week we did a little bit more biking and a little bit less running, so that sort of evened itself out, which is really nice. Obviously I would have liked to have spent a bit more time in the pool, but getting up a bit late this morning didn't really help that, so I think that's going to have to be a focus next week. Yeah, really, I feel really good though. I feel really strong, and I think next week should be like the peak week of training. So probably, if I get everything done that I've got planned, should be the biggest week yet. I'd like to get in some of the last big key sessions next week as well, so I've got an extra week to recover from them before Ironman California. So I'd like to get in my last proper big long run. I'd like to get in a really good long ride, and I'd really like to get down to the track for another good quality session as well on the running. So I think all of that would be good. Yeah, like I said, I think swimming has been a little bit on the back burner the last couple of weeks. So I think it would be really good to have a good week in the pool as well. And yeah, if I string all of that together, then next week's going to be a really good week of training. So hopefully you've enjoyed tagging along. I'm sorry the weather has sort of curtailed some of the filming we've been able to do this week, but hopefully you enjoyed it anyway. And if you haven't done already yet, don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.
And that's all my arm can handle.